Welcome to the Reality After Show covering the Challenge All-Stars 5 Rivals Episode 9. I'm your host, Alex Trias, joined as always by our challenge legend himself, Paulie Calafiore. Paulie, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Just hanging here in LA, relaxing, caught up on this episode. And I mean, I've got some thoughts and I've got some drags and I've got some compliments. Now, who gets the compliments, who gets the drags, and who gets the thoughts? We're going to find out. If Adam joins, Adam, we have an email ready for you to join in here and give some hot takes on the episode.
Absolutely. But yeah, so episode 9, we're at 6 teams, 3 star holders, 3 non-star holders. I'm we're bearing the lead. What the fuck, man? What in the actual fuck is the format here? Because why is it that the whole thing was in order to get a star, you need to go down against a star holder, was what we were being told. Or if 2 star holders are down there, then it just opens up the star. But if the whole thing was you could just put 2 non-star holder teams down in the sand, and then you could just steal anyone's star, then what the fuck are we even doing here? What, like, truly?
I think where a lot of disconnect is happening with, let's just call it the universe as a whole, is you're not really beating the allegations about having your shit together versus not together. Because it just kind of seems like you don't really think out the entire season all the way through. And all of a sudden you get to a point where it's like, oh, fuck, we didn't really factor in it playing out like this. What do we do? Oh, hold on. Let's have a brainstorming session and roll the fucking dice. And then it comes up with like, all right, we're going to change this rule that we haven't said all season exists for this one time where the people who have had stars all season, who have earned them the right way, either from going into an elimination or winning a challenge where a star was on the table, and now all of a sudden it can be taken away. Like, where the fuck was that? Because I'm pretty sure that is there's been eliminations where teams that didn't have stars, went in and competed against each other, right?
This is the first one this season that didn't have a star holder in it.
Interesting.
Yep. So maybe they were like, oh, it's not convenient for us to even talk about it since it's not part of their strategy. But I'm like, you should be clarifying to the players and to the audience, what are the rules of the game? Because
did they clarify that there was only ever going to be 4 stars for the entire season?
Look, that we can't even. They could tell you that, but they also said there would only be like 3 or 4 stars in All Stars 4, and then they went, here, last challenge, here's another star. So it's like you can't really even take production's word for it.
Yeah, I'm just a little confused as a whole, because my thing is this. If you've been told from the beginning that there's only 4 stars available ever, then that would have factored into the strategy at some point, because wouldn't have, Adam or anybody who has won, done their best to eliminate as many people as possible and make as many pairings happen as possible where it's star holder versus non-star holder.
Right. Or wouldn't that even been part of Adam's strategy? Because we heard Adam say in other opportunities to people that hey, when push comes to shove, I'll help you get a star. If you scratch my back, we won't put you in. We'll even help you get a position that could get you a star. Wouldn't it have been part of the strategy to also be like, hey, we sort of don't want this heat. We are consistently getting thrown into elimination. And let's be real, we could probably win any daily we want in the future. So let's get our star out of our hand now. I don't know. There's just options.
It's just so confusing to me. So you're telling me, right, that let's say the 4 strongest teams on the show, let's call it Adam and Steve.
Yep.
Devin and Leroy, Fessy and Amber, Turbo and Nani. And hypothetically Dario and Ashley, right? Like all
Yeah.
of those 5 teams, the top 4 are interchangeable. So
Mhm.
you're telling me if those 4 teams were absolutely dominating this season in terms of like passing dailies back to each other, back and forth to each other, winning eliminations, that if they were throwing in teams that didn't have stars against each other and the scrubs were beating each other, that meant that they could then take stars from the stronger teams?
Yeah, and that's why the format is so flawed because it's literally only benefiting the bottom feeders. There's no positive part of being the strong team unless you have what happened up until this point in the season of okay, we're just gonna have to make sure a star holder is in the sand at any given point. As long as it's not us, then our star is protected across everything. Like
Mhm.
that's how it works. And then suddenly they're like, oh well, this time we're gonna do the 2. We're gonna do it this way, and we just get to steal your star, and you have nothing you can do to stop us except try to win the next daily if there even is one, which we now know there is.
Yeah, and like here's the thing. So there is another daily,
Right.
which is why I'm so very confused that this specific elimination allowed for them to steal a star when the previous elimination left a star up for grabs for people to have to
Yeah,
win a daily to get it.
yeah, that's why I was like, I think that's my big crux of it. I probably wouldn't care as much about stealing a star if they also were like, well, if 2 star holders were down there, the winning star holder could give that other star to whatever team that they wanted. Like if you're gonna make it such a freeloading type of season anyway, might as well give the players all of that control instead of just making
Dude,
some
I'm
cases
so
up to
sick and
chance.
tired of the freeloading fucking the freeloading fucking um themes. I'm so
Yeah.
fucking tired of it. I'm so tired of the participation trophy bullshit. Like the fact that you had an elimination where 2 girl teams went against each other. And let's be honest, dude, Veronica fucking sucks. She's terrible. Like the fact that she was even being like, oh my God, like to think that like a team like us made it this far. It's like, yeah, dude, because everybody knew your roly poly ass was not going to be able to run the final. Everybody fucking knew it. I would keep you and bring you to a final just for that. But me personally, because you got a big fucking mouth, I would want you out earlier. Because you suck, your mouth is the only thing that can do damage to me as a team.
Right.
Right. But
Right.
like the fact that 2 of the weakest teams got to go against each other, where one of the weakest teams were going to beat the other weakest team. And then they
Yeah.
stole a star from one of the strongest teams, right? Because they didn't steal it from Frank or Sam. They couldn't steal it from Davon or Shane. And, Adam and Steve, to their credit, have worked a very good social game, right? From being
Yeah.
like targets for the first 4 to 5 weeks to kind of just almost be like on a path to like just make this final and just walk through it, breeze through it. It's just insane, like how Turbo and Nani did it, But the one thing is, it's like just take the fucking star from him, dude. It's like Melissa, shut the fuck up.
I
Like,
know
enough
that
with
that
this shit
part
about Turbo.
was
Like, you were an asshole to him, dude. Like, he's not a prick. Like, yeah, he's hard to fucking live in the same house with, but like, don't give me this bullshit of like, oh, we're not going to take Adam and Steve's star. Now, mind you, like, I love Adam and Steve, so I'm glad it didn't happen. Like,
right.
Handjob Steve, that's my fucking boy, dude. Handjob Steve, making a final, I'm about it. But don't sit
I'm
there
all
and give
about
this
it.
bullshit of like, oh, like, I love Nani. It's so hard. It's like, no, fuck off. You have
And
no
like,
relation to Adam and Steve.
yeah,
Like that, and
it's
they just
all Nicole. Yeah, it's all Nicole with the relationship with Adam and Steve, and like for Melissa to like make that grandstand thing, and then because she's feeling herself, she's like, oh, the next step's the final. I can say whatever the hell I want. So it sort of was a bit of a good
But it's
gag
like,
when
here's the other thing is like, even in the deliberation, them sitting there and being like, you just think that it would be fair for like everybody in the house to throw down the teams that don't have stars yet and give them the opportunity. It's like, no, fuck you, dude. You signed up to do the challenge. Why the fuck should you get an opportunity to get your star when you didn't want to get your star at all fucking season? Like,
yeah. And
if
it
I
also
was in power and I was Shane, I'd be
yeah
like, you got to beat fucking somebody with a star.
Yeah.
And they had the
if I'm
they had the
Shane,
perfect
I'm putting down
opportunity.
Frank and Sam.
Dude, here's the thing. Shane is such a pussy. Such a pussy. And this is why he, has he ever made a final?
I'm not sure, to be
I mean,
honest.
I know he hasn't won, but has he ever
He
made a
definitely hasn't
final?
won. And it shows why.
It 100% shows why. Because here you are, right? Your relationship with Veronica has been a little on the rocks. You feel like Frank is like in her ear more than you, right? You caused this rift between you and Frank for being a little unhinged and being like, oh, I've been friends with Veronica for 20 years and she likes this guy more than me now. Your partner, Davon, catches him lying, spinning lies, and then trying to gaslight her into like, no, you're crazy. I'm not saying this. I'm not doing this. I'm not orchestrating anything. This is your mortal enemy. And if Veronica was truly your friend, she would understand this move.
Mm-hmm.
She would understand it. She wouldn't give a fuck.
Right. Like, she'd do her dramatics and confessional, and that's it.
Going to target you next season. I guarantee you, Shane, if he gets targeted next season, I'm going to fucking laugh. I mean, next week, I'm going to fucking laugh because it just goes to show that you're a moron. And like, I like Shane. Like, Shane's my boy. But like, is he the most strategic player in the world? No. Does he think with his emotions? Yes. Like, did he have the perfect opportunity to be like, hey, I'm going to ride with my partner. She heard this. You've been having friction with me this whole time. I want my friend back. Fuck you. And if Veronica turns around and is like, fuck you, dude, you didn't give me a chance to get a start. It's like, oh, I'm sorry, fat fuck. Maybe you should have did it earlier.
Also, it's just like with how the format the shows has been going.
Dude, the level of
I don't.
People are just insane. They're insane. It's like,
yeah.
We should all play this fair game. It's like, dude, wind the clocks back, Veronica. You never played a fair game.
No.
Ever. No. But now you want fair games and fair shots? Just retire already, dude. You old people are like fucking driving me insane with your like kumbaya bullshit.
Yeah. And like with this episode in particular, like the one thing I won't fault the players on is thinking that this could have been potentially the last daily, the last like round period, because of how most seasons go, where especially with this type of season where they usually throw away the last couple teams that don't have stars and be like, hey, you didn't get a star, fuck off, time to start the final. And so like I get them having this urgency of like, oh well, we need to get stars, and then that disrupts Shane's emotions because he's like, oh, I desperately want Veronica to have a star so that I can run the final with her. But I'm like, if you're playing for yourself, you should be doing anything in your power to make sure the two people in elimination are Turbo and Nany and Steve and Adam. You want both those strong teams in there, guaranteeing one of them goes out. And guess what? A star opens up. They're not going to go to the final with only 3 teams. So then you give these other teams one other chance to get a star. It's like you have to think through more of these things. And I understand the other theme of this is just the complete disconnect between Shane and Davon when it comes to their strategies. Where it's like Davon is giving Shane way too much of the decision making. I like that Davon is cutthroat, where she's like, look, end of the day, if Nany and Turbo are my friends, they'll be my friends even after I screw them over here. But it's like I love that part of it. But throughout this season, we have only seen her bend to Shane and what Shane wants. That's all the second half of this season has been. And I want her to stand up.
I really thought it was coming. Like
it faked me out.
Right. The thing is, when you're so close to the final, and it's like if anybody was a true gamer, when you're close to the final, who gives a flying fuck, dude? Look at War. All right, War of the Worlds 2. I literally protected CT the entire season. I had opportunities to throw him in. I had opportunities to throw Rogan in. He was smart enough to do the math in his head and be like, okay, I'm doing the math. All right, we win this last challenge right before the final. I know Paulie wants me to throw Nani in against fucking Tori.
Right.
Send Nani home, which would have made our team stronger. And if Nani pulled it off, made their team weaker. And instead, he's like, all right, so, they're voting Nani in. I'm going to vote Ashley in. I'm going to try and take a shot. But he knew he could do that at that point because there was literally nothing we could do.
Right.
Like, I couldn't sit there and be like, oh, okay, motherfucker. So next one, guess who's going in? Your fat ass, dude. Right? He knew that. At this point in the game, playing it safe or being fucking loyal to people who have kind of like been shifty and shady to you makes no sense. Like, I really, and I understand maybe part of it was like an ego thing where she's like, I know Veronica is going to lose. And I just need that. Like, I just need that last, like, fuck you. I got further than you. I get that. But the move, definitely Frank and Sam.
Oh yeah, the move, the move is put the two strongest teams in. But for Shane and Devon, both separately have their issues with Frank. Put him in. What is the worst that can happen? They win and they come back in. What do you fucking do? Like, it is what it is. You can't play scared for too long because guess what? Frank and Sam aren't even the team that you should be worried about in the final.
I'm just a little shocked because I agree with you. And this goes back to like when the Skulls were like fucking kumbaya. It's like, oh, we're going to give this person the opportunity because he didn't throw himself down. He caused no drama. She caused no drama. But now they need their Skull. So like they deserve the opportunity to try and run the final. It's like, that's so stupid. It's so stupid. And that's exactly where we're at right now, is strategically the smartest thing to have done would have been, oh, there's another daily, two strongest teams against each other.
Right.
Automatically frees up a star. I love Turbo and Nani. I love Adam and Steve. But in my mind, that would have been the strategic thing to do. I would have been like, those two teams are going in. So I know Nicole and Melissa want the house vote, but they're not going to get it. Yeah. I know that Veronica and Katie want to get voted in against them, but they're also not going to get it. We're going to throw these two teams in. There's going to be a freed up star. You guys can fight for it in the next daily and see who gets it.
Exactly. Like that's what I'm thinking in my head is take that risk of, you're not sure if there's another daily. Take the risk and put two star holders down there and see what happens. Because why am I going to bend over backwards for people who have done shit for me the entire game outside being like an extra vote here or there? Like, congratulations for helping me with my game. That's where it ends here. You need to earn your star yourself. So it is what it is. I do want to give Adam some flowers. Because last episode, you and Dan talked, which you guys did a great podcast last week, by the way. You guys were talking about Adam intentionally like poking Turbo about the communal space, just to like paint a bigger target onto Turbo.
Yes.
Well, I think he does a good job here of getting what he wants after the daily finishes, where Frank immediately starts scheming. Devon confronts him, and immediately Adam just says, look, this is what I'm planning to do. And he just goes to confessional going like, look, if he's not being sneaky, why hide it? And I'm like, you have this little shit-eating grin on your face, Adam, as you're just saying what's going to happen. Adam, I liked it.
Adam knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Like,
he looks dumb. Like, he plays dumb. But
I don't even know if he plays dumb, but after watching Adam for the last 2 seasons, I am not only impressed at his ability to like win things and kind of like figure things out, like almost MacGyver things, but he is one of the most in control, self-aware people from a strategy and social standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
And he knows exactly when to use leverage on things, because you got to understand that little was like week 1 in the making.
Right.
Like when he knew Frank was the one constantly sending him down, right? And he waited for his opportunity for Frank to slip up in front of him, right? Which he did.
Right. Because this is the first time throughout the season where Frank actually felt back against the wall because you don't know with Shane. He knows the plan is to put the 2 non-star holders in, but he's like, we need to stand as a solid front. We need to make sure it's Nicole and Melissa there because why would they betray Veronica? Adam's just going, well, if I'm straightforward with them, if they do betray a star holder, it's not going to be us because I was straightforward with them.
Exactly. And that was
even though they're the better team.
A1 move by him.
Mm-hmm. Almost as good as Steve playing dead on the track for like a solid 10 minutes. Love that for him.
Steve is just, he's my favorite character of this entire season.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, Frank is definitely, I would say, most entertaining from a game standpoint, and from a look standpoint. But Steve, now that we've lost, Ashley and Amber, and I mean, Melissa's still kind of there holding it down a little bit. Frank is there, but Steve is the entertainment.
He just he never has to be the main character of like the episode, but he has like the moments. He's our main character.
Main character because he is the main character.
Yeah, I like. It was sort of ironic to me what this challenge was, though, because like you and I, like we make our jokes about how All Stars has become like a little bit of like the retirement home, and the challenge was essentially human shuffleboard.
Dude, don't even get me started because oh God, it's so fucking frustrating to watch this shit, dude. Hey guys, there's only 4 stars available. Getting close to the final. This is a really important daily. Let's make it chancy.
Yeah.
Let's make it something that anybody can win. Like that is so.
Like my feeling is, if you want to have
the music, putting like "They See Me Rolling" in it, like they thought they did something there. Like that was cringy as fuck. Like you can tell that there's old people in charge of picking the music.
Look, I love a good throwback every now and then, but I was just like, I just was not feeling this challenge at all. I was like, I'm wasting my own time watching this, just seeing people roll.
I may have skipped through it because like I was like, who cares? I was like, there's no commentary that's going to be good here. I was like, this is
it's just
a challenge. Like, we just want to see who wins. Like now, was I happy that Shane and Devon won? Yeah. Love that.
Yeah, it's more drama.
Love that for my team. It could have been more drama, but Shane.
The potential as you were watching, you're like, oh.
Dude, Shane goes down. One of the biggest pussy moves was giving Veronica what she wanted this episode and not throwing Frank in, somebody who you have literally been targeting all season, sneakily behind his back, trying to get other people to do your dirty work for you. And then you had the opportunity to throw him in, and you didn't.
Unfortunately, not everyone can be like you. No one can be like Jordans of the world, like who will just like stand on their business and be like, I said I was going to do this when I get power. I have power. I'm going in. This.
Exactly.
I don't even care if you win. I said I was going to put you in. I'm going to put you in.
Yes.
Because look, all these are chancy. Like the eliminations aren't just a straight giveaway that Frank and Sam are going to win this elimination. Like they could have lost. Like, so why not put them in? But I'm going to move over now to Nany and Turbo. First, I want to give flowers to Turbo because he deserves them. I think at the end of this episode in particular, he showed why, specifically with Nany, why he can be such a good teammate in the challenge. Because, like, she's having her bitter moment. She admits she's having her bitter moment. And he's just like, just is real with her. He's like, girl, you're traumatized. You've done this 13 other times. But all those other times at the end of this season, you did not have me. I am here to try to bring both of us a championship. So feel this right now. We're going to win tomorrow.
And I think that's why it pisses me off so bad. Like, when Melissa's just going off saying those things, dude, because it's like, fuck you, dude. Like, like seriously, fuck you, dude. Like, you are playing into the whole, like, trying to, like, make him out to be something that he's not, dude. Like, you're a toxic woman. she's a toxic fucking woman. 100%. And she's trying to fucking gaslight this dude. And this dude's being nothing but supportive to his partner, who has, once again, embarrassed him in front of the whole house, yelled at him in front of the whole house, and fucking didn't have his back in front of the whole house. But when she needs him most, he shows up in the eliminations, right? When, let's be real, she ain't the one fucking winning them.
No.
He's winning them for them both. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you know, like, for him to still, like, when she's like having a meltdown, like, you know, and he's like, listen, this is from the trauma. You've never won a final. You've been on 13 seasons of these. You know, you barely make finals, but you've never had me. And I'm going to make sure that we win this for the both of us. And like, so, you know, feel it right now. You're allowed to feel how you want to feel in this moment, but we gotta be back on our horse tomorrow and be ready to get a star.
Exactly. Because that's what Turbo's mindset is, because we know going into next week, we need to win a star or get in a position to get a star, or we are gone. That's the only options that are there right now. That's just what it is. So yes. I think like with him, it's like Turbo can be a great partner because he's very no nonsense about it. Like, where so many people can get distracted by the extra stuff, he doesn't care about the extra stuff. He's here for one thing, and that's to win. Yes. And that's the best type of partner you can have.
Yeah.
Especially if you're Nany, who has fallen short many times, has been the bridesmaid and not the bride. I'm sorry, sensitive topic there.
Well, hey,
that was not meaning that when I was saying it, but
no, the phone call that they had on that episode was very awkward. Man, I mean, imagine breaking up with somebody and then a season airs and all they're doing is highlighting, like, you guys talking about getting married, you guys talking about having kids, wanting kids, and now here you guys are, like, not together.
Yeah, I can only feel what they are feeling having to watch that all back. But also at the same time, like, if you're production, you need to ask her some other questions in confessional other than the relationship, because that seems to be the only thing that she's willing to talk about and the only thing that you have footage of. It's either that or her family back home who has supported her through the 13-14 seasons. And it's not lost on me when Nany is complaining about the situation being like, well, all the friends just want to go to the end together, as if she hasn't benefited from the friendships.
I was just going to get there. Like, the hypocrisy is insane for Nany to sit there and be like, oh, like, all the friends just want to make it to the end together. It's like, honey, what have you been doing every single season? What did you do on Total Madness? What did you do on, no, was she on Double Agents?
Well, she ride or dies for sure.
Ride or dies. Spies, Lies, and Allies. Like, you know,
you got there through friendships.
Like, you got it to the end through friendships. Like, you and your friends are what they are.
Yeah. So that's the only time I'm like not sympathetic. Like, I'm sympathetic over the situation because of the mechanic of the game. I'm not feeling sympathy or empathy over her side losing out because they got outplayed. And sometimes you need that dose of reality.
Well, what's crazy to me is it's like the hypocrisy is crazy. It's like when that group of people has their friends or in charge running the game, you never see their enemies getting the edit of, oh, all the friends are banding together doing this. Like, they get like some sort of edit as if they're like strategic. It's like, they're not. Oh. But every time their friends get outwitted, it's like, oh, it's not fair. Like, these people are all going to the end together. They're friends. Like, or maybe you're just dumb.
Or they don't understand why, or refuse to understand why they get targeted. Like in season 40, why did they all get targeted? They're like, we can't let this giant fucking group control the entire house, so we're going to target them and destabilize them. And you know, it is what it is.
And it worked.
Yeah.
Because
and it worked that season, worked this season.
Really that smart or strategic. They rely on their relationships. And if a group of people come in and are like, yeah, so they rely on their relationships never crumbling. And then they rely on the fact that they can pull in 1 to 2 relationships each and make them feel like they're on the in with the group.
Mm-hmm.
And then they just slowly chop them off and then keep the group insulated. But, on season 40 and on this season, I think we've seen that, it just don't work that way anymore.
And it's the power of numbers. Like, yeah, you had numbers going into the season, but you didn't have like the overwhelming majority like you've had in seasons past, where like you would go in there and you would have your giant group, the handful of newbies where there's 2 that are good and the rest that are mindless. And then the other veterans that are like, I'm just going to ride the wave right here and do absolutely nothing until it's my boot episode. And I go, wow, I can't believe they screwed me over.
Yep. Exactly.
But now looking at the picture, it's just like, let's say Nany and Turbo don't get their star back. This is the 4 teams that are going to the final. How are we not going into episode, I guess it would be episode 11 at this point, and it not just being a coronation of Adam and Steve?
I don't understand, unless Adam and Steve win this next daily to keep themselves safe, right?
Mm-hmm.
Here's the way I would see it playing out. Turbo and Nany are the only ones left without stars at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So they have to go into elimination regardless. Right. So they're going into an elimination. The question is the only way Adam and Steve go into elimination is if they don't win the daily.
Yeah, because they're not going to offer themselves up. Well, I would like to think they wouldn't offer themselves up if they won.
Any team who does win would be stupid to not throw Adam and Steve in against Turbo and Nany, right? Trying to get rid of one strong team. So the only way Adam and Steve are safe next week is if they win the daily. Okay.
The only other team I think that would keep them safe is still Nicole and Melissa, mainly because of Nicole. Because Nicole isn't that type of person who's going to be like, I'm scared to go against these people, because she's also, she gets tricked by how many sides are on a triangle. So,
I mean, she should be scared. She's not really that great in finals.
I agree. But I think she would still feel like this sense of like a loyalty over to them. So I feel like she would put in like Frank and Sam or Shane and Devon to go again. Yeah, because like if you're any of the star holders teams, and as long as Nany and Turbo don't win, you vote them in, because then it protects your star as long as you know you're not going to be selected by the winner of the daily. Like that's what you're gambling on right now. Because if you don't put them in, then do they just get the star by default after the elimination? Because there's only 4 teams left.
Well, I mean, there's no way for Turbo and Nany to get the star without going into elimination. So the only way that anybody else, I just don't know who's going in.
I know.
Like, so my thing is like, if Adam wins, who does he throw in? He's not going to throw in Nicole and Melissa, who already have a star. He would likely throw in Frank and Sam.
Right. Which would be interesting.
It would be interesting, but it would also kind of be like, or does he oddly throw in, I don't know, Shane and Devon, which I don't think he would throw in Shane or Devon.
I don't think he would. It's just interesting because like I feel next week's episode could either be this really cool elimination matchup of the 2 strongest teams, where us as the viewers know whoever wins this elimination is very likely winning the final unless something weird happens in the final. Yeah, or you have something where you throw Frank and Sam in and you lose the strategist of the season right before the final.
Maybe, or the strategist pulls off an epic upset.
That too.
So
there's options there, but like personally, I would love to see Nany and Turbo make it into the final, because I want to see Turbo run another final.
Yeah,
like truly. It has nothing to do with Nany for me at this point. It's more of like we haven't seen Turbo back in a final since his first season.
World's 1. Yeah.
Yep. and I want to see how he would do. Like, and if it's an All-Stars final, he'll feel like it's a cakewalk.
Yeah, because he's a carnival game king.
Exactly. So I feel like no matter what, we're going to leave episode 10 knowing who's winning between one of those two teams of Adam and Steve and Nany and Turbo. And I'm just excited to see what happens there. Outside of that, though, the other teams, I don't know what to tell you. I guess the only other fun joke of the episode was Veronica once again rolling her ankles because someone thought it would be
my God,
genius to wear heels on marble in the rain.
Here's the crazy thing. I'll just put this out there. How many in shape people have rolled their ankles on the challenge over the past 5 to 6 seasons?
At least reported, not many.
Oh, only Anissa and Veronica? I wonder what the common denominator is between rolling the ankles.
Yeah. It was just such a weird scene to watch.
Put 2 and 2 together. All right.
Yeah.
The show needs to cast skinny, hot people. I'm sorry. That's what we all watch for. Make them young also, or younger, or at least if they're going to be older, they need to look good. We all used to watch the show to see them fuck, to see them fight, and to see them be hot.
Yep.
And, nobody was rolling their ankles, fucking falling.
Yeah. I don't know. The whole scene, though, just made me crack up.
Which was also insane because it's like, this shows you the narcissism of challengers because Frank, a doctor in physical therapy, being told what to do for a rolled ankle by Shane,
who is a internet doctor specialist, one of those types of, like, we all have people in our lives that are that person at one point in our life that is like, oh, I know exactly what to do because I read WebMD. It's like, oh, I saw a Reddit thread about this. This is how you're actually supposed to do it. Don't listen to the professional who actually knows what he's doing.
Little WebMD fucker.
I will say Sam's reaction to it was probably the thing that made me laugh the most, where they were talking about the fall, and she was like, it was in slow motion.
I can imagine it being in slow motion. Is there
she was like in slow motion. She was 3 steps lower to me. No chance of me watch. I just had to watch it.
Is there anything that Veronica does that's in fast motion?
If they speed it up to like 10x.
Yeah, they have to speed it up. Yeah. Anyway, how do you want to put a bow on this episode?
Bow on this episode. Highlights. Good job, Adam and Steve. Doing your thing as always. Good strategy there. Turbo being a great partner. I guess for the rest of the house, good job figuring out a way to screw over a great team in Nany and Turbo. But fuck you, production, for making that a potential avenue in the game for this late in the game.
For allowing it to happen.
Yeah. But we'll have to see. I'm more excited for next week than I am really about this week's episode.
I'm interested just to see how it plays out. I mean, I think I know the scenario and how it plays out. I mean, guaranteed that Nany and Turbo go into elimination. It's just a matter of, does Adam and Steve win and then allow, Frank and Sam to get thrown in, or does Adam and Steve lose and then somebody else throws them in?
Right. Yeah, like we see in the next time on, like Shane and Davon once again fighting, saying that, oh, well, we can just be put in and go home then. But obviously, you don't really trust what they show you there. But
definitely
I don't know. It'll be
maybe the editors have been listening to us. And,
I mean,
they're trying to throw people off the scent of making it obvious who's going in.
Yeah, it's possible. Maybe they finally listen to us. But we'll be back next week. Hopefully Dan will be able to rejoin us for next week's episode.
And maybe we'll work it out with Adam a little bit better because we were trying to get him on here. He did text me at 9:15 saying in 15 minutes, and I was driving. I was like, hey, we're actually about to start it now. So maybe, just maybe, we get him on for next week. I will. Now that I have his number, I will try and make it work.
Yeah, Adam, reach out to us. We'll love to have you on next week if you want to join us. And then if you're watching it right now, Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Press that bell for all notifications and like the video. It helps put our videos out there for more people who love what we do to see it. As well as watching all the other content that we have on the platform. They're doing a bunch of Survivor coverage for both US and Australian Survivor. Deal or No Deal Island just finished. Some dude from Australia just won like over $5 million on that show. Like,
oh, I gotta catch up on that. Wait, the Australian guy just won over $5 million on Deal or No Deal
spoiler.
Island?
Yep, not over 9 million when converted to Australian.
Parvati.
Yeah, the Australian golden god, David.
Did Parvati make it to the end?
I think she got cut the episode before the finale.
The episode before the finale.
Yeah.
Wow. Not bad.
And then they're both about to go on to another show together.
Are they? Which one?
For a Survivor AU versus the world.
Oh, that's going to be interesting.
This filmed first.
This filmed first. Okay.
Yeah.
That's, it's actually pretty impressive that Parvati is very dangerous socially.
Mm-hmm.
And she still is able to figure out how to make it all the way to the end.
And you know what? Parvati, while not super young, hot, in shape,
in shape.
The challenge.
Shame. Like, on the challenge, but like, once again, the only reason why she, like she has a crazy sex appeal. I don't know what it is about her. She just like screams, I like to get choked during sex. I don't know. I'll be the one that says it. She just has the face that says it.
And you know what? We'll leave it there.
I'll just answer my own question. How she makes it all the way to the end, being so dangerous socially. She has those eyes, right? And we all know the eyes that we're talking about, the ones that look really hot when they're on their knees staring up at you. She has those. And we're gonna end it there. And we don't need to
and you know what? If you want to become the patron, join it by going to realitypatron.com. Try it for a month. If you don't like it, Johnny will give you your money back. Take all these hot takes. We'll be back next week. Love y'all. See ya.
I would target